Hello, my name is Dr. Tom Kimber, and I'm a professor at SUNY Morrisville, where after this semester I'll have been teaching math for 20 years. Prior to that, I taught at a college in Connecticut, and I also had a brief stint working in the corporate field. I'm very happy to be speaking with you here today in this forum, and I'd like to extend a big thank you to the organizers of this event with the theme, "When am I ever going to use this?" I'd also like to say thank you to Carlos and Susan, the C-STEP people on our campus, for getting me involved. My comments here today are going to be my opinions of a personal nature based on my own educational experiences and my observations and experiences teaching college for over 20 years. Why STEM? How STEM? And I'll sneak in a bit of a story of a memorable professor of mine. Why STEM? There are many, many reasons, including the personal satisfaction of using your interests, your abilities, skills, and your education to make a living. In addition, STEM fields are ever more so increasingly important in society, and decision makers and leaders come from within these fields. It's extremely important for the good of society that all are represented as in these decision-making capacities, all genders, races, and ethnicities, for example. A career in a STEM field also brings with it financial remuneration, which is undoubtedly important and contributes to one's life stability in the long run. These are big picture answers to the question, when am I ever going to use this? If pursuing a STEM field is what you want to do, then these are benefits that can come from that. A STEM-related career profession is not the only way to attain these things, just one possibility. You need to follow what is in your heart and in your head. Now, how STEM? STEM is a very broad term encompassing a huge array, a huge number of careers and professions. So try to narrow down your focus to the degree that you can without feeling stressed out about planning your whole entire life out at the age of 17 or 18. This is not feasible, but it's good to think, where do you want to go? Where do you want to be in 10 or 20 years? Working in what kind of field? Working in what kind of situation? In a lab, in a science-related field, in research, the medical field, drug development and testing, environmental testing, with computers, working with technology and programming capacity, networking or video games. In an engineering-related area, such as manufacturing, design, development, production, with mathematics, doing mathematical modeling, actuarial science in the insurance industry, or accounting, or education, teaching any of these things, or any licensed profession. And so the theme here is to put some thought into where you see yourself and where you see getting satisfaction from a STEM-related field. Those are just a few of the ideas. There are many areas and types of careers that you should research. It's very important to investigate. And you have today the vast array of information on the internet. Take advantage of that in your thinking about where you want to end up. Investigate a potential career. Go to the professional organization's websites for that career. Find out what the requirements for a job in that career would be. And go to a college's website. At this point, it wouldn't be particularly important if that's a college you would end up applying for or want to go to. Just go to a college's website and look at what courses are necessary to attain that degree. All this type of information is out there today, and it's very valuable to use in researching careers and opportunities within the STEM field. So do a pretend job search, I say here. And what I mean is that if you're in high school, junior or senior in particular, and you're thinking about going to college and in a certain major in order to attain eventually a certain career, pretend for a moment that you're in the position of applying for that job a few years from now. Go look at the jobs available, look at the job requirements. Try to get a real good understanding as much as you can about what that job actually entails and is it for you. And then again, look at the college's websites and look at the actual courses that you would be taking to lead towards that career. This type of information, again, is all available and can be very useful to you in making these kinds of decisions and narrowing down your focus. At this point, I'd like to change, for the moment, the focus of this talk and tell you briefly about an individual, a professor who I had when I was a sophomore in college, who was an inspiration to me and an influential person to me. And I think his story is inspirational, and so I wanted to share it with you. And his name was Dr. Clarence Stevens. And in brief, his story, born 1917, orphaned at age 8. He was the 9th black person in the United States, I believe in the world, to earn the PhD in mathematics at the University of Michigan. Amongst other things, he attained a fellowship to study at the Institute for Advanced Study at Princeton. And that's where Einstein was and many others. And so this is the big time. Along his path, life path, if you will, career path, he changed his focus from research to teaching. And he became highly regarded as a math educator. There's a book written about his methods and articles written about his methods of teaching math that he developed in the 70s and 80s primarily. He passed away not too long ago in 2018 at the age of 100. He was a teacher of mine way back in 1986. The olden days, not too long after the days of King Arthur, so long ago. I'm joking, not so long ago, really, but to a young person, 1986 is long, long ago. Here is Dr. Stevens, about the time when I had him for a teacher. And a couple of quotes from Dr. Stevens, which I carry with me to this day and have been influential to me both as a student and as a professor myself. Every college student who desires to learn mathematics can do so. I spent my entire professional life believing that this was the case, he said, and I concur. Successful learning and teaching occurs in a supportive environment with continual encouragement, successful student role models, enough success to develop self-esteem, enough time to develop intellectually, and recognition of their achievement. Now, of course, is a different time to 1986, and the circumstances are different as well. But this type of environment that Dr. Stevens fostered in the 80s when I was in his class in college is similar to what I believe the sort of environment C-STEP creates for his students is today, based on my observation of the C-STEP program and students in it over the years at SUNY Morrisville, particularly the idea of a supportive environment. I think it's so important to success in learning in anything really, in mathematics in particular. That first quote talks about every student who desired to, and the phrase who desired to is important. There does have to be, on the part of a student, an internal, intrinsic motivation and a desire to learn mathematics. If that is there and the environment is supportive and the student takes advantage of the resources that are available and puts in the effort, then you can do it. You can learn mathematics. You meet the challenges of learning mathematics. And let's face it, the STEM-related courses can be challenging, mathematics and science. But if you put in the effort, you can do it. I got a PhD in mathematics. We all reach levels, though. We all reach plateaus and hurdles we have to overcome. And it does take effort, and it takes that intrinsic motivation. I can point to certain topics, certain courses, certain areas in math from high school right on up to working on my PhD, at which I had to concentrate, put in extra effort, seek help, use my resources. In terms of Dr. Stevens' class, I learned as much about other things, life things and learning and myself in his class as I learned about mathematics. I learned both, a lot of both. The sort of extra mathematical things I learned from Dr. Stevens include these. How to learn, also to be more independent myself as a learner, to take on myself, strategizing for myself. What don't I know? What strategies can I use to attain that knowledge and be successful? Also to think and to try to be a part of creating the kind of environment that suited me as a learner. How to be more focused. How to be more serious about my education and less serious about my education and my own learning, which seems contradictory, but I think there's something to that. You have to be serious, but some people are just too intense, and I am perhaps have been fairly accused of being a little bit that way. And so maybe I had to lighten up a little bit, I think. And so these kinds of things can be tied together under the heading of know thyself, which sounds maybe more like philosophy of some sort than math and STEM and teaching and learning math, but it's all related. And I think that it's easy sometimes from a student perspective to be like being in class, math or whatever class is, sitting in the room, doing what that person at the front of the room says, and kind of hoping for the best. And I get it. But at the same time, the more that you can kind of take charge of your own learning to a certain extent, to come to more of a serious approach, a mindset on your part, more focused, more independent, and concentrate on the fact that you're not just sitting in a class doing what the person at the front says. You're actually trying to attain new skills, new knowledge, etc. And to be able to think for yourself, amongst those skills and that knowledge, what am I lacking right now? What don't I know? What can I do? And strategize for yourself. What are some of the ways that you could attain those skills and attain that knowledge and be successful? Which sounds like a lot to do on your own, and that's certainly part of it, on your own. But don't feel alone. Take advantage of trusted teachers, mentors, and other individuals, and use your resources, including, especially, programs like C-STEP that provide such a supportive environment. Under the category of know thyself, try to think about how do you learn best? And what kind of strategies can use to help yourself? If there's something I don't know or I'm not able to do right now, what strategies will work for me? These are questions for you to ask yourself. What kind of environment for learning suits me best? You probably won't have complete control over the environment in which you're learning, but you can, to a certain extent, work to make conditions more favorable to your own learning. So act with intention to create that kind of environment, understanding that not everything is within your control. Participate and take advantage of programs like CSTEM. Use all of your available resources. And think about your own perspective on learning. Are you focused enough, serious enough, too serious, maybe, like me sometimes? So in summary and wrapping it up, know thyself has been a major theme of my comments. It's something I really think I learned how to be better at in Dr. Stevens' class. In the case of high school, junior, senior, thinking about going to college and a career after that, narrowing your focus was one thing I spoke about earlier. You, young people, are the future. You have time on your side right now. Time is a resource. Be aware of that. What you do in the next couple of years, 5, 10 years, will influence where you land at age 45, age 50. That could be a stress-inducing kind of thought, but try not to let it be that. Just something to be aware of. Chart your own course, make your own future, but also talk to and learn from those who are older and those who have come before. Now, I know that my comments here have been kind of real big picture, general, and sort of a philosophical bent. The other talk that I considered giving at this particular event would have been of a different nature. I'm a Formula One racing fan, and I was thinking about talking about race strategy in Formula One and uses of mathematics in that, and spreadsheets and modeling and so forth. And that's the kind of inspirational talk that answers the question, what are you going to do with this in a very specific way? Whereas this particular talk that I've given is much more general and much more philosophical. The other type of talk I've given in the past, I feel like as I get closer and closer to 60 years old, not too far away, this particular type of talk, philosophical in nature, is where I'm at, more so. And I think more about the, as I do get older, future of the world and of society. And so I would leave you with the words below. If you have purpose, intent, and dedication, a STEM education and career in a STEM field can help you accomplish great things for your own future and accomplish things to be a better and be part of a better future for the world. If you have purpose, intent, and dedication, a STEM education and career can help you accomplish great things for your own future and be part of a better future for the world. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful day.